Like, this is just G-Post City right here, man. There's so many people gonna be here. Also, I may have done some work in the meantime. Wait, I'm missing one in Garlemald?
In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. Treasure every moment, every step of your descent.
With the Loporrit's and Urianger's capable hands, we needn't worry about affairs here in our absence. Knowing now the face of their Earthly collaborators, there is much to discuss with Alphino and the others. Let's return to Tower Babel. Our battle for the star will soon begin in earnest, and we must be prepared. Hey, on the plus side, at least the towers are gone. Also, I decided to disable the mount music for the time being. It's kind of weird going from, you know, peaceful lunar music who... So where's that last quest? Oh, right, that one. Well, a shame, really. Hello, I've been busy. We've done all we can for now, and believe me, we intend you to tell all about it. But before we do, might you tell us what's become of Garlemald in our absence? We succeeded in subduing the tower untempered inside the Tower of Babel. We took many alive, but combined with those who are already in our custody, the number requiring care has grown exponentially. The inclement conditions here have made it difficult, if not impossible, to treat them all here, so we have petitioned aid of the allied nations. Some are, understandably, hesitant to proffer assistance, particularly those that were but recent subject to imperial occupation, as several others have agreed to grant them refuge or treatment. With the assistance of your fellow scions, we endeavor to see them safely transported and subsequently cured of their tempering. Will all the tempered be relocated? Not all, no. We have sufficient shelter to attend to those whose treatment have begun, and enough healers have volunteered to remain until the patients have recovered. Julius is one such patient, though he is not yet fit to receive visitors. Truth be told, it was a miracle he and those in his company were not harmed in the chaos. If not for Alphino and Aloysius' timely assistance, I dare say none of them would be with us today. Well, good, we're gonna need bodies. We have other news to share. Shortly after Anima was defeated, we received reports that each and every tower has vanished. Expectedly. For Mercy, the process was apparently not as violent as the one you experienced in Thavnair. Those who are trapped within them have been rescued and are receiving treatment. To hasten this endeavor, the Beast Tribes have received instruction in the magics needed to cure tempering. Oh. Master Matoya is no doubt thrilled the Mother Porksy affords her so many visitors. Yes, we are grateful for our ongoing efforts as well as those of comrades near and far. As for the contingent, several of our members have been granted leave as I knock down my water bottle. The return to their homelands after the transfer of the temper has been complete. I believe that accounts for recent events here, so what did the Monumental offer I? I'm afraid it ain't good news. The worst kind, actually. Final days. Gods, I prayed your victory would mark the end of our troubles. There is still much we do not know, but the Alliance leaders must be told. Would you be willing to contact them in our stead? Yes, of course. I'll send word forthwith. We will also release your fellow scions from their present duties, that they may return to Charlian. Your energies are better spent finding a means to avert the coming apocalypse. Speaking of your fellow scions, you'll be happy to hear that Mistress Kryl, though still in the men, has been moved to the Bedessian Annex and given into Tatar's care. Thank you. I look forward to seeing them both upon our return. Let's be on our way then. One last thing, if I may. After your confrontation with Zodiark, you said Xenos took his leave, and in all likelihood he has returned here to the Garlemald. I have in mind to dispatch scouts to try and ascertain his whereabouts, but first wish to ask if you believe there is merit in doing so. Yeah, if they found them, they probably wouldn't be alive to tell the tale. On the subject of Xenos, the 10th Legion has made an official proclamation. They denounced the Crown Prince and condemned his role in the Empire's downfall. His very title has become a source of shame among his former subjects, and its continued use serves only to hinder relations with foreign nations. For this reason, we have declared as Xenos Viator Galvis, outcast and enemy of Garlemald. Title under on. Fandaniel is no more, and now his own people turn against him. It seems he's not but his bloodlust to keep him company. Alright, off we go! So, about that duty. Does it involve rabbits by any chance? We're finally back. Oh, Pog, a venti latte, just what I needed. Half the fun of playing this game is just seeing what jokes you can make with the people that pop up in it. Oh, it's good to see you, and free from chilblains, I take it. You'll be pleased to know everything's been kept in order since you've been away. I even brought a few useful knickknacks with me from back home. But no sooner had they arrived, I received word of Crow in poor health, and you on the moon! You meant to give me a fright, you succeeded. The moon's lovely this time of year, by the way. Welcome back, Autumn. We were so terribly worried about you. Though it was plain I caused my own fair share of worry, and for that I apologize. Idolin called me to that day when you entered the Tower of Babel. Her pleas were faint but desperate, and I knew at once she required a vessel to carry out her will. What came after feels like a dream barely remembered, my body flowing through the life stream towards Garlemald. When I regained consciousness, I was all aches and frostbite, exhausted of ether, so exhausted in fact I could only laugh. It was only that moment I understood Raha's weariness from the Tower of Zod. Whether I could laugh at a time like this, that would prevent the Zodiark from being unleashed upon the world, I'm curious to know what else took place there on the moon. So, given the level distribution, I have an assumption that I'm going back to Fandaniel soon, unless I'm actually going to Labyrinth first. Oh, hey, Louisoix. Sorry to kept you all waiting. Not at all. We understand you've been quite busy. Will Urianger be joining us? Duty keeps him away, I'm afraid, though Autumn can explain why better than I. Bunnies. The final days, as befell Amarad. And we are to escape via the moon. What are the source and its reflections? I have no intention of standing by while the world falls to ruin. So how do we stop this? Unfortunately, we have no answers at present. If the celestial currents have grown stagnant, as was the case in the time of Amarad, the solution would be to alter the flow of aether throughout the entirety of the star. The ancients accomplished this by summoning Zodiark, sacrificing half their star's population into doing. But it should go without saying that such a sacrifice cannot be repeated. Which leaves us the daunting task of identifying the underlying catalyst for the final days, a feat even which the Amarantines could not accomplish. Fortunately, we found no clues in Mare Lamentorum. There is so much we do not know about the catastrophe itself, let alone what caused it. The final days were marked by the corruption of Amarantines' creation magis, but we command no such power, which invites the question, what havoc is in store for us? If we knew that much, perhaps we could draw some parallel with the events of the past, and thereby form some semblance of a plan. Perhaps we should start with the form then. Having worked with the Loppers in secret all this time, there's surely more they can tell us. Forget the interruption, but I have urgent news! The forum is holding a public assembly in the plaza outside, some sort of announcement. What is Father up to now? There's only one way to find out. Let me guess, they're enacting, quote, the plan, unquote.
Order! Order, I say! I thank you all for gathering here on such short notice. This day we must speak of grave affairs and their implications for the future of Sharlayan, nay, of this very star. Said affairs concern all citizens, so we have called for a public assembly. You may have heard rumors of the Telophoroi and the havoc these madmen wreak abroad. Under normal circumstances, we would pay little heed to petty disturbances outside our borders. The final days, however, are another matter altogether. For we dare not ignore these prophetic words of Eld. The End-Bearers will come, ushering chaos and calamity. The final days descend and devour the very star.
I've never heard this prophecy.
Is it true? Will all that really happen?
Calm yourselves. The time has come to speak of the Forum's most sacred duties. But first...
Give voice to the voiceless. Let bindings be unbound. By unanimous decree, I declare the enchantment broken.
Master Louisoix, if you would.
Very well. "270 years ago, our forebears began an expedition in the Dravanian hinterlands, in search of a route to access the ethereal sea. This much is public knowledge. Their findings, however, would become the Forum's most closely guarded secret. What those researchers discovered in the hinterlands was not a passage unto the ethereal sea, but the very heart of our star, and Hydaelyn herself.
That makes sense.
She spoke to them of a calamity that would extinguish all life, and of a means by which we might be spared. The moon. 'Tis in truth a gargantuan vessel built to serve as sanctuary for her children, and deliver them from this doom. Much like Nunkref's hope in ages past, it will bear the people of a world in the throes of death to a new home.
Needless to say, this will be no small undertaking. To facilitate the great work, the Forum has maintained close contact with the servants of Hydaelyn, who presently reside on the moon. Convinced that the foretold end was all but inevitable, we began amassing a wealth of knowledge, not merely for the betterment of our nation, but in preparation for the journey to come.
You reveal this to us now? By the gods, how long do we have?
While we cannot say with certainty, we believe the hour to be nigh. We received a transmission from the moon suggesting as much not long ago. Which is why we must in earnest begin preparations for the great exodus. For his impressive contributions, and the leadership he demonstrated during our withdrawal from Dravania, we have elected Master Louisoix to oversee this initiative.
Fellow scribes and scholars, my countrymen, we face a threat of unprecedented scale. We must challenge the trials before us with composure and conviction if we are to find salvation. The wisdom of Sharlayan has ever been a shining beacon in the darkness, and so it shall continue to be. It is our solemn charge to see our heritage preserved for future generations. For those who will come after, we will brave a new frontier.
Surely you're just gonna run again.
Administrative edicts will be relayed to all major institutions ere long. In the meantime, carry on with your duties. With that, I hereby call this assembly to a close.
Do you remember what Mother told us when we visited home? That it wasn't until after we were born that Father seemed to lose himself in his work. If that great work of his was the evacuation of this star, then...
Trying to save you two.
Yes. It wasn't for his benefit. Would you mind waiting here a moment? I wish to speak with Father before we leave.
Keep it civil, Louisoix, eh?
I may look daggers at him, but I will neither speak nor draw them.
I was talking to your sister, but okay.
If it's all the same to you, I have a few choice words to share with Father as well.
So, come to call us cowards and bid us join your fruitless battle against the inevitable.
I mean, I would, but...
Nay, we do not object to the Forum's proposal. On the contrary, those who wish to flee have every right to do so. Urianger is cooperating with your associates on the moon to ensure that all is ready should evacuation be our only recourse.
Then whatever your business, I suggest you be brief.
Though we cannot boast the boundless wisdom of Sharlayan, we have first-hand knowledge of foreign cultures, and have conversed with no small number of peoples. These experiences have taught us fundamental truths that cannot be recorded in any tome, nor charted on any map. The beating heart of this planet is its people, many of whom would give anything, even their lives, to protect the lands they love. Many may choose to join you in the end. But what of those unwilling or unable, for whom escape will never be an option? What would you have them do? To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, Father. It is indolence.
I taught him that line.
This is why we choose to fight.
We'll not ask for your understanding, Father. Only that you don't turn a blind eye to the good we have done. That we can still do. We're not children in need of protection. Hold fast to your principles and let the world burn if it please. But we believe there is still another way. And if there is, we will find it. You see if we don't.
Do as you will. Just stay out of our way.
Were he not so consumed with self-righteousness, he might tell you how proud he is of you both.
Bold words call for bold action. And there'll be no turning to your father should plans go awry.
As if I ever would. So long as there are those who wish to stay and fight for this star, we have to do what we can to help them.
And if we're to do that, we'll need to be well rested. Wouldn't you agree? And having triumphed over what we once thought to be the source of all evil, I can think of no one in greater need of at least a dozen winks.
Shall we then? To the Annex, to prepare for tomorrow.
I'm gonna sleep like the dead. And in no way am I tempting fate. And Rasho. Meet me here. A visitor has come knocking at your door. Whoever could it be? Yeah, I didn't hear any knocking. Excuse me? Oh. Louisoix? Hello.
Craving a midnight snack, were you? I did consider bringing a few sweets, but decided this wasn't an appropriate occasion.
Fair enough. You could have brought me a burger, though.
I couldn't sleep. Had a few things on my mind. I know it's late, so I'll try not to talk your ear off. It's Xenos. I keep thinking back to Garlemald when he'd taken control of your body.
Can we not bring that up? That's actually a deep-seated fear of mine. God damn it.
An altogether terrifying experience, to say the least. And one that served as a harsh reminder. No one, no matter how strong or quick or clever, is invincible. Not even you. And as much as it might seem at times that you are, one misstep, one mistake, and that's that. Which is why, even though I know you've heard it 1,000 times before, I'm going to tell you to take better care of yourself. Because you really, really should.
I'm trying.
It goes without saying that we're all committed to this fight. But that doesn't mean that we need to throw our lives away. You know how I feel about noble sacrifices.
Right.
Right, that's settled. We'll be keeping the acts of gratuitous bravado to a minimum. When I looked father in the eye and swore we'd find a way to avert this tragedy, it wasn't a promise just for him. It was a promise for you, too.